Have you ever stood at the edge of something so daunting, so impossible that all you could do was stare in awe? Well, imagine standing at the edge of a city, not just any city, but one with walls so high and thick, they seem to mock your very existence. These aren't your average stone structures. They're formidable, solid, and resolute, seemingly impenetrable. The kind of walls that have stopped armies in their tracks, that have held back the tides of war, that have stood the test of countless sieges. This city, Jericho, stands as the first major obstacle for the Israelites as they prepare to enter the Promised Land. But here's the twist. The way the Israelites conquer it isn't with weapons or war, but with faith. Yes, you heard that right, faith. In today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing stories from the Bible, the fall of Jericho. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be speechless. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that will redefine your understanding of faith, obedience, and divine intervention. Okay, so let's set the scene. After wandering in the wilderness for 40 long years, the Israelites were finally ready to enter the Promised Land. But before they could claim the land of Canaan as their own, they had to deal with its inhabitants. And guess who lived there? The Canaanites. Not exactly a friendly bunch. They were tough, strong, and wouldn't go down without a fight. And the first city on their list of conquests was Jericho. Now, here's the thing about Jericho. It wasn't just any ordinary city. It was a fortress, a citadel, a place where the walls seemed to touch the sky, and the gates were guarded by men with hearts as hard as stone. The walls of Jericho were legendary, almost mythical in their strength and resilience. To the Israelites, they looked like a great wall of China, a physical manifestation of their fears, doubts, and uncertainties. In their eyes, Jericho represented everything that stood between them and their promised land. Everything they had to overcome, everything they had to conquer. It was a symbol of their past 40 years of wandering, of their struggles, their failures, and their doubts. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. As the Israelites prepared for battle, their leader, Joshua, stepped forward. He wasn't just any leader. He was chosen, set apart by God Himself to lead His people to victory. You see, when Moses, their previous leader, died, God looked for someone to carry on His mission, someone who was strong, brave, and full of faith. And He found Joshua. God told Moses, "Joshua, son of Nun, who serves the Lord, has all the spirit of leadership, courage, and wisdom. I have put him in charge of Israel's territory. He will divide the land there among them as an inheritance." Joshua 1 verse 18, New Living Translation. So Joshua was more than a military leader. He was a prophet, a servant of God, a man chosen to lead his people into a new era. He stood before God, his heart heavy with the task ahead of him. The walls of Jericho loomed over him, mocking his every move, taunting him with their impenetrability. Joshua was unsure, doubtful even, how he was supposed to lead his people to victory against such a formidable foe. But then something happened. God spoke to him. He gave Joshua instructions, a plan, a strategy. And if it sounds absurd, well, you're not alone. God told him to march around the city for 6 days, once per day, with the Ark of the Covenant leading the way. And on the 7th day, he was to march around it 7 times. Then the priests would blow their horns, and Joshua would shout, and the walls of Jericho would fall down. Yeah, that was God's plan. Just walk around the city silently for 6 days, then shout, and the walls would crumble. Sounds insane, right? But Joshua obeyed. Why? Because God said so. And that's where the faith comes in. For 6 days, the Israelites walked in silence around the walls of Jericho. No battle cries, no taunting, no weapons drawn. Just the sound of their feet on the ground, and the Ark of the Covenant leading the way. It must have been a surreal and intense experience. Think about it. You're silently walking round a city with people watching, wondering what on earth you're doing. What would have gone through your mind? Would you have questioned your leader? Would you have doubted God's plan? Or would you have trusted in something bigger than yourself? Then came the 7th day. The Israelites marched around the city 7 times, and as they completed each circuit, their hearts pounded, their breaths quickened. The tension was palpable, almost suffocating. Finally, the priests blew their horns, and Joshua commanded, "Shout." And then it happened. The earth shook, the walls trembled, and with a deafening crash, they fell down. The city, this mighty fortress that had stood the test of time, crumbled before them, not because of military strength, but because of faith and obedience to a higher calling. This wasn't just a military victory. It was a miracle. It was a testament to the power of belief, a shining example of what can happen when faith meets action. It was a demonstration that when we trust in something greater than ourselves, when we obey a calling that resonates within our souls, even the strongest barriers in life can come tumbling down. The significance of the fall of Jericho goes far beyond the mere conquest of a city. It's a story that echoes through time, a narrative that speaks to the core of our being. It's a reminder that faith can move mountains, that obedience paves the way for miracles, and that surrender to a higher purpose leads to triumph. It's a beacon of hope in times of despair, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, and a celebration of the unwavering bond between faith and victory. The fall of Jericho isn't just a story from the past, it's a story for the ages. It's a story that resonates with everyone who has ever faced an uphill battle, who has ever dared to dream of a better tomorrow, who has ever believed in something that seemed impossible. It's a story that speaks to the hero within each one of us, the hero that lies dormant, waiting for the right moment to awaken. So when you face the walls of Jericho in your own life, when the odds are stacked against you, and the path ahead seems shrouded in darkness, remember the Israelites, remember their faith, their courage, their determination. Remember the city that fell not because of its size or its strength, but because of the belief in something greater. Remember that the walls that seem insurmountable are just that, just seeming. They're just figments of our perception, illusions that can be shattered with the right mindset, with the right belief system, with the right faith. As we wrap up this journey through the biblical narrative of the fall of Jericho, I want to leave you with a simple yet profound question. What walls are you facing in your own life? Are they walls of fear, doubt, uncertainty, limitation, or something else entirely? The story of Jericho reminds us that walls, no matter how imposing they may seem, are just that, structures of stone, brick, concrete, or whatever material they may be made of. They hold no power over the human spirit, over the human will, over the human capacity for belief and action. The real battle, my friends, is not against walls, but against the beliefs, fears, and doubts that hold us back. It's a battle that rages within the chambers of our hearts and minds. It's a battle that only we can fight and win. So go forth, dear viewers, armed not with swords and shields, but with faith, hope, and love. Armed not with weapons of war, but with prayers, dreams, and aspirations. Go forth and confront the walls in your life. Let your faith be your compass, your hope be your guide, and your love be your strength. For in the words of the great Mahatma Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through the timeless tale of the fall of Jericho. If this story touched your heart, if it made you question your beliefs, or strengthened your faith, I invite you to like this video and subscribe for more captivating biblical journeys. Until next time, may the spirit of Jericho guide you, the faith of Joshua inspire you, and the love of God bless you. Remember, the walls may seem high, the obstacles may seem daunting, but with faith, obedience, and a willingness to believe in the impossible, all things are possible.